Studnickaaquatics here. I have been getting quite a few comments over the year regarding how I regulate temperature in my walk-in humidor. So that's what this video is about. I thought I'd explain this. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions. And basically what I did, I have a small room here that's about 10 by 12, and I have turned it into, well, my version of a little cigar lounge. I like to call it a smoking room, but anyway, it kind of styled after the Victorian style, and I still have Christmas decorations up. So anyway, what I did was, this was a closet, and I converted it into a walk-in humidor. This thing is 6 foot from side to side on the inside. It's 3 foot front to back, and I do have vaulted ceilings, so the ceiling in it is about 9 foot 3 inches tall. And I did make a video series on how I built this walk-in humidor. I think there's a 9-part series on how I did that, dealing with the vapor barrier, dealing with the types of wood you can use, the humidification system as far as what you get for that, what you can and cannot use for humidification systems, because there are some that work well and some that don't. So anyway, this is my walk-in humidor, and right there on the wall, that is the readout, and that's the brains of the operation. And right now the temperature is 70 degrees Fahrenheit and the humidity is 70.1. So I like to keep it at about 69, pretty close in there. 70 works for me. I know different people, and I've seen other videos on even desktop humidors that people in different parts of the country use a little bit different temperatures and humidities than others, but it's always pretty close to that 69 is what it is. And one thing I did want to mention on this thing is that this is in a fairly new home. I put this home in 2012, and it is very well insulated. It has a high efficiency propane furnace for the fall and winter, and I also have central air conditioning in the summer, and that is key to, I think, why I'm staying consistent on this and why this works. The door is sealed fairly well. I know you need to be able to open and close the door once in a while and exchange air, and they say on commercial walk-in humidors it's not a problem because they have customers coming in and out. But a lot of people that have walk-in humidors in their house, they don't open them every day. They basically collect cigars, and I open this thing every day. I put 2 to 3 cigars in my pocket when I go to work, and I open it every day. And so it's very sealed in here. The type of wood that I used in here is wood that you can use in walk-in humidors, but that's another whole story. So basically what I'm doing in order to maintain this thing where it's at on my temperature is, I found that if I keep my thermostat set at 72 to 74 degrees Fahrenheit year-round, so that in the fall and winter I have the heat maintaining it at that, and in the spring and summer I have central air conditioning maintaining it at that the temperature within this walk-in humidor will always be between 67 and 71 degrees. Sometimes it hits 72, but it stays right in that range year-round. Now, where I ran into problems was, I've had this going for about 1.5 years, so I wanted to make sure I could get through a full year before I made this video. And in the late spring, early summer is a really nice day. I live in a very rural area, and the air quality is wonderful. It was a beautiful day outside, so I opened all the windows, shut off my my heat, no central air, no heat going or anything. And then after a couple of days, I came by and checked it. It was 83 degrees outside. I remember that, and I thought, wow, I didn't know it was going to get that warm today. So by the time I got home from work, I looked in here, and this walk-in humidor hit 81 degrees. And the day before that, it was still in pretty good shape, but having those windows open in that house and having it heat up outside, that heated up the inside of the house. So I immediately opened the door to purge some of that hot air out of there, and I went ahead and shut every window in the house, and I turned on my central air conditioning. I set it at 73 degrees, and within a few hours, the temperature in the house started to drop down to where it needed to be, and by pretty much that evening, but by the next morning for sure, I was back down to 69 to 70 degrees inside this humidor. So that's one thing I have to watch, and it is very tempting in the early spring and late fall to open them windows for a couple of 2-3 days, because it's really nice, and it seems kind of dumb to be paying money to run central air conditioning when it's really not getting that hot. But I have to maintain this house at 72. If I keep my thermostat set at 72 to 74 degrees Fahrenheit year round, this walk-in humidor will stay between 68 and 71 degrees. So it works very, very well. I had the door open for a little while, and as you see, the humidity has dropped to 64.4 because the door was open, and the temperature is at 70 degrees. It did not change it because that's the temperature inside my house. I do not have a heat vent in there. I do not have an air conditioning vent. There is no register. So that is how I do maintain the temperature inside this walk-in humidor, and it's working very well. I've had it going for a year and a half now. Cigars are in excellent condition. I expect every cigar I get for tobacco beetles, make sure there's never anything wrong with them, and as long as you get them from a reputable place, that's not really much of a problem anymore. So that is my little video today on how I do that, how I regulate my temperature inside that walk-in humidor. And this is Studnickaaquatics, and as always, keep smoking cigars.